My number 5 is that creators will produce and own their content and distribute directly to fans, bypassing the studios. We did see that with Taylor Swift. She made a deal with AMC all on her own. She and didn't go through a studio at all. And I agree with your number 5 wholeheartedly, because it's kind of like what I just said with mine. They will own their own content, produce it themselves, and then make deals with the theaters. I'm also saying, though, that not just concert films, I'm talking about, we've seen now, remember, where they have this new deal where, I forget what they're called, but they're where you're shooting films upright on your phone, made specifically for Reels and like TikTok, and it's feature-length films in 40-second spurts, and they're being produced and distributed by creators by themselves on these platforms. And now it's gotten so big and so common that SAG had to create contracts for it. It's like, oh no, we're getting real talent doing these films. We're getting A-list people doing these 40-second snippet films on Reels and TikTok. They literally microdramas. There you go, microdramas. I think we're going to continue to see a lot more of that. It makes sense, because you don't know the certainty of the studios because of mergers and what's going to happen there. Maybe you don't want to work with certain studio heads, and this is the best way to do it. And because of, well, this is a little bit more of my prediction, and we'll get into it, but because of the uncertainty of the future of theaters, theater chains will be more than happy to make deals without studios with creators, because they're going to need content. So yeah, that's I agree with you. I think we're going to see a lot more of these type deals being made with theaters. My number 4 is, I believe that at some point this year, a major theater chain will declare bankruptcy and shut down. And that's because I think there's a handful of the smaller ones, Cinemark and the Grand, which is owned by, I forget the company that took over the Grand Santico. These guys aren't the AMCs. They aren't the Regals. They aren't the big ones. Alamo Drafthouse is another small one, for example, that almost had that happen already. I don't think these guys will be able to survive the continued shrinking of the theatrical windows. They need films to stay for extended periods of time. They just don't have the money to funnel in to keep the doors open if the windows keep shrinking. So I'm going to say it. I think a major theater chain will definitely declare bankruptcy and shut down this coming year. I don't think one of them survives.
Yeah, which is terrifying. Super sad to
Without
see, especially
doubt.
down here on the coast where we don't have an AMC. Like, I think Cinemark will be okay, but that, like, for me as a consumer, having to drive all the way to Gulfport, even though that's my favorite theater, like, it would still, like, suck.
No doubt about it.
Yeah, as any consumer would say. That's for sure. That's for sure.
My number 3, I don't want to happen, but I think that it's going to happen, and it's going to cause some problems. AI will fully integrate into production, all aspects of it, pre-production, post-production, development, everything. It'll be in writers' rooms, it'll be in the editing bays, it'll be on set, and it's going to just fully integrate in. We've already kind of seen that. You said we just talked about it, where Disney made a deal with an AI company. We're looking at agencies, talent agencies, literally figuring out how to sign AI actors. It's like, I think we're going to continue to see it. It's unstoppable. It's happening, guys. It's something inevitable that we're just going to have to deal with. The back half of this prediction is we're going to go into strike again. If not all of the unions will strike again. If you guys don't know, their contracts are up again. SAG-AFTRA is in February. The Writers Guild is in March. And then the Directors Guild is in May. And they have all pretty much expressed they want no part of AI happening. Remember when the contracts were being negotiated the last time and we went into strike, that was one of the issues. And they resolved everything else and decided to kick the AI issue down the curb until the next contract talks, which are now. And so I think this is going to be contentious. I still think actors don't want to sign off on it. I don't think writers want to sign off on it. It's going to cost jobs in the writers' rooms. Directors don't seem to want any part of it. And now we know we've got an old school filmmaker, director as the head of the DGA in Nolan. He still uses practical effects. I mean, so he literally created a bomb for Oppenheimer. This guy don't want AI. So I think it's going to happen. I think we're going to see the full integration in, but I think there's going to be a fight to keep it from not happening. And I think we may see a strike by one or all of the unions. And I hope I'm wrong because, man, we don't want to strike. But it is what it is, man.
Yeah, we definitely don't want to strike. But to play devil's advocate a little bit, got to see both sides of coins. He has the Odyssey coming out this year.
He does.
I don't think he wants a strike happening when
Absolutely
he's trying to promote
not.
that film. Like, especially coming off his Oscar wins, like major Oscar wins for Oppenheimer.
Yeah,
so that would be crazy. I think him specifically, even though he is such an advocate, I think he will do whatever it takes to make sure that there is a deal done and that there is not a strike.
So
at least on the directors and actors side,
I
so
like
that the
that.
actors can promote that movie. But I mean, I still think the writers will potentially strike.
That's what I was going to say. We could put a little asterisk next to that prediction, because if there is a strike, the one most likely to strike, I think, is the Writers Guild, because they're the one in most danger, to be honest. They're talking about eliminating writers' rooms and literally having one writer do a treatment and then feed it to AI and let it produce 10, 15 scripts, for a full season of shows. So if there will be a union that will strike, it's most likely the Writers Guild. You're right. I agree. Yeah, so we'll see. Here's something I think is going to continue to not do very well this coming year, and that's Hollywood, specifically production in Hollywood. I think Hollywood is going to continue to lose production to both international locations and other states. International, we've seen all of Georgia just suffered big because they're all going over to London now, shooting in England. But I think we're going to see more of Australia, productions in Australia, more productions in Canada, more productions continuing to flow over to England. And then you're going to see other states benefiting from how Georgia did it. New Mexico is starting to ramp up. North Carolina is ramping up. Louisiana's getting back in the game. You're seeing Florida starting to get some production. I think Hollywood is in trouble. For whatever, Gavin Newsom tried to do these big tax pack, and it brought a little bit back, but not to balance off the majority that's left. And I think we're going to continue to see that trend in 2026. I think Hollywood is going to continue to struggle to maintain production in Hollywood. Especially when all these states are given tax incentives to build studios in the states. So the only reason you really shoot in Hollywood anymore is for the large sound stages and the lots. But if they're going to do that in other places, then why would you?
Yeah, completely agree. I mean, if you're a Joe Blow filmmaker who is just somebody who directs films or somebody who produces films like that are already IP or what have you, I think, you're not going to care about that at all. But I mean, like the Michael Manns with Heat 2 coming up, obviously that was set in LA. So I'm sure they'll try to shoot in LA again. I mean, Paul Thomas Anderson shot, one battle after another in California. But those are the filmmakers who actually, obviously all filmmakers care because it is like the capital of the entertainment industry. But at the same time, like we've talked about this entire episode, it's all about money, and they're going to try to save as much money as they can. So if they have to go to all of these different places, New Jersey is another one. Netflix is building a studio. But London's the hot spot right now. So it's sad to see.
It is. And it's kind of a double-edged sword, right? Like the studios are kind of doing it to themselves because the studios are all about profit and all about profitability. And yet they're making it so expensive to shoot there that they're forcing these filmmakers to go to other locations because crew is cheaper, locations are cheaper, equipment's cheaper. So they have a better shot of being profitable, which is what the studio wants. So they're basically stabbing themselves by making it so expensive to shoot in Hollywood. I mean, it's mind-boggling to me. So yeah, that's my prediction though. I think they're still going to struggle with it, and we'll see. My number one is to be continued from my last year one, because now it's officially been announced that they will make the announcement in the first quarter. So sometime between now and the end of March, they are making the Succession announcement. My number one is that Dana Walden will finally be announced as Bob Iger's successor and the first female CEO in the Walt Disney Company's history. I have no doubt that this is going to happen. There may be an asterisk next to it because there's talk that they want to follow the Netflix model and do a co-CEO, and they're talking about Josh Amaro, who runs the Parks division, as the co-CEO. I don't like it. I would rather just have one CEO be in charge and just but if you're going to do I think she runs the studios and the television and the production side of it. He continues to be CEO, but run the parks and sales and marketing and advertising division of it. I don't think it's a good idea. There's rumors. I don't think it's going to happen. My prediction is clearly what I said. I think it's going to be Dana Walden that gets named. But there's rumors that he might be the solo. That would be, in my opinion, and Logan, you and I have talked about it, that would be Bob Chapek 2.0 all over again. It wouldn't make sense. The only experience he has is the Parks division. Doesn't have experience running studios. He doesn't have experience dealing with television or streamers. That would be a disaster. No way Bob Iger or the board let that happen. That's why they extended this whole Succession thing to get it right this time. So I don't know why that rumor started or floated. I get the co-CEO if you want to keep him around and because he's doing a good job with the parks somewhat, but no way they don't put Dana in the spot. Creators want her, actors want, like everybody in the entertainment industry respects her and wants her, so it'd be a disaster if they don't pick her, in my opinion. So my number one, Dana Walden gets named the CEO of Disney.
Oh boy, man, oh man. I gotta say, I'm more confident about these picks this year than I was about the picks last year. And we did pretty good last year.
Yeah.
So I'm super excited for all of this. To a nice little recap, Netflix experiments with more theatrical releases, more anime film success. DC becomes more trendy than Marvel. Box office will see new life in China, and studios will make more deals for concert films, especially theatrical releases. And Dustin's obviously the Dana Walden gets named the successor from Bob Iger, or the asterisk co-CEOs. Hollywood will continue to lose productions to international locations, including other states. AI will fully integrate and force unions to strike, potentially WGA most informally, and then major theaters will change or will go bankrupt or shut down, and then creators will produce their own content and distribute to fans directly. So are we crazy? I think we're pretty spot on.
I think so
we're
too,
pretty
man.
spot on. Super excited.